We're live. Hey, y'all.
Yay.
Glad you could join us again in this new year. This is 2026, the number one year. We just come out of the number nine year, 2025, ending cycles. And we're going to be discussing crossing the threshold, how to start the year without losing yourself. And I'm here again with Doty Jones from Quantum Healing from Your Soul for Your Soul.
Virtual.
And anything else you'd like to say before I do the opening invocation?
At the third segment, topic we're going to talk about is the sacred permission slips.
Mm.
That's going to be a good one too.
It's going to be interesting. So
Yes.
I'm glad y'all could join us if you're joining us live. And if you get this on the replay, that'll be great. Let's make sure you like, share, and subscribe this show episode. And I hope you all enjoy it. Um, we're going to open this space in presence, in clarity, and in truth. We call in our higher selves, our guides, and all beings of divine light who walk with us on this path. We acknowledge this threshold, the space between what has been and what is becoming. May this episode be held in protection, insight, and remembrance. May our words serve as light, not to lead, but to reflect what already lives in you. To every listener, may you hear what your soul is ready for. May you feel held, not hurried. May this conversation stir, not pressure, but peace. We walk into this new cycle not with force, but with faith. We open now in full trust and remember who we are. So I want to read to you what I got from the Akashic records on this new year and this crossing the threshold show that we're doing today, because I think, like us, we're all in that threshold, that doorway where things are just feel like they're stuck, stagnant, but we haven't crossed over yet. And we just need to have faith and just cross over into that, the greater things that's coming to us in 2026, I think. So let me read this to you from the Akashic Records for 2026 about crossing this threshold. You are not who you were, and you are not yet who you will be. You are standing in the in-between, where old threads loosen and new ones begin to hum. This moment is not about rushing forward. It's about remembering what still lives in you. The dreams that didn't die, the fire that didn't go out, the deeper knowing that kept whispering. And even when you stop listening, you are not broken. You are becoming. You spent years shredding what wasn't yours. Now it's time to walk with what is. In this threshold moment, the invitation is this: choose resonance over resolution. Don't ask, what should I fix this year? Ask, what wants to rise in me now? What frequency do I want to walk in, no matter the outcome? Is there a sacred timing here? This year is not asking you to build fast, it's asking you to build true, not from urgency, but from the core of your being. You're not late, you're not lost, you're arriving right on time. At the gate, your soul marked long ago. So take a breath, let go of pressure, and when you step through this threshold, do it as one who remembers. And for those asking how do I cross this threshold? How do I begin again? The guides offer this: step through with simplicity. You don't need to carry every tool, every plan, or every answer. The threshold doesn't ask for perfection. It asks for presence. Bring only what still feels alive in your chest. Anchor the body. Let this shift land in your bones. Walk, breathe, touch the earth. This is the year of embodiment, not escape. Speak what is true, even if it is small. You don't need to roar, but you do need to stop silencing what matters. Speak the truth your soul is carrying into this next chapter, even if it's just a whisper. Honor the grief. There is grief in every new beginning. Let it come. Let it move. Let it bless your becoming. And remember, You don't walk alone. Others are crossing with you. Look for them, walk with them. Let the shared journey dissolve the illusion of isolation. The gate is open. You don't need to push. Just step when your heart says now. And let this be the year you cross over as your truest self. I th think that really hits home. It hits home for me a lot. And a lot of stuff that I've heard other Akashic readings and stuff, it all just aligns perfectly with what this year has to hold for us.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be exciting. I'm excited for 2026.
Yes, I am too. I'm tired of waiting though.
Yeah, the number 1 year, it's like so cool. But yeah, what you just said, it's a lot of because I have a lot of notes here to read as well. And what you said is like a lot of what I've got to say is, also about like January being framed as this big starting line. Like the second the calendar changes, we're supposed to be clear, motivated, and ready to move forward. So it's a lot of same as what you just said. So I'll read my notes here, what I've got down about the threshold energy and beginning without rushing. But what I've noticing is that a lot of people, January doesn't actually feel like a beginning. It's like that in between. It's that threshold space. That's what we're talking about here. So where something has ended, but the next thing hasn't fully arrived yet, and we can feel uncomfortable. It can be disorienting and feel real heavy. I think there's often tension there. On one hand, the year has ended and there's relief. You've got reflection, maybe grief or exhaustion. But then on the other hand, there's the pressure to start fresh, set goals, be optimistic, and move forward quickly. But a lot of times our nervous system doesn't work on calendar time, right? So our bodies and our hearts are still integrating what we just lived through, that 9 year, that the endings that we always talk about. So if you're feeling unsettled, unmotivated, emotional, or unsure right now, um, I want you to know there's nothing wrong with you. This is all completely normal. This threshold energy isn't asking you to rush, it's asking you to notice and to notice what's still landing, to notice what needs to be honored before we move on, to notice what you're carrying that maybe you don't need to take it with you, right? One of the most compassionate things that we can do at the start of the new year is to slow the inner pace, even if the outer world is speeding up. And we talk about slowing down this time of year. We're not talking about slowing our calendars because that's not possible. The slowing the inner pace starts with the body, right? And one simple way to do that is, check in and ask, is my body feeling rushed right now, or is it feeling supported? And sometimes slowing down is just, taking that long exhale after, you breathe in, placing your hand on your chest. Sometimes it's choosing not to respond right away to, like a message or an expectation. Let's see, slowing the inner pace. This is something I wrote down. Slowing the inner pace is giving yourself permission to move at a speed of your nervous system, not the speed of the calendar. And it's simply, taking just 5 minutes of your morning before heading out the door to sit in meditation, do a check-in on yourself from head to toe, or set your intention for the day. I came up with that. I thought that was really good before you head out to, the rush of the day, the busy rushing streets and whatnot. So starting your day in a positive mindset will pave the way for how the rest of your day will go. And I love the idea that we don't have to start the year, we're allowed to enter it,
Hmm.
right? And I like this idea of you enter it with awareness, with honesty, and with self connection. So maybe instead of asking, what should I be doing right now? We ask, what am I still holding? Or what needs a little more space before I move forward? Because thresholds aren't crossed by force, they're crossed by presence. And when we talk about entering the new year with awareness and honesty, it means or it doesn't mean having everything figured out. It means being willing to tell yourself the truth and to ask, how am I actually doing right now? Not how you think you should be doing, but how you really are. And then staying connected to yourself instead of overriding the truth. And self connection is incredibly simple. It can look like checking in with your body before making decisions. It can look like noticing when something feels like a no, even if you can't explain why. And that's intuition. Listen to your gut. It can look like choosing rest over productivity or presence over performance. And a lot of people are still holding on to things from the past year, like emotions and responsibilities, certain roles or expectations, and they don't even realize how heavy that load has become. And they just keep piling everything onto their plate. And now that plate is full, right? So here's a question that you can ask yourself. What am I still carrying that doesn't actually need to come with me? What's on my plate that I don't need right now or anymore, right? And then you don't have to force an answer. Just notice how your body responds to that question that you ask yourself. And letting go doesn't always mean a dramatic release. Sometimes it's simply setting something down. And when you do it with kindness. And it's saying, I carried this for as long as I could, and now I'm allowed to rest. So anything that you want to add to all of that of what I just said, or do you want me to keep going with my notes?
No, I just think it's awesome how all the notes, all the readings, everything just aligns up for this year. And from personal experience, I mean, I really feel like right now is really heavy. We're in the middle of the threshold. We haven't crossed over yet even. And it doesn't feel like go time. It feels like something's still forming under the surface. Something's not really come to fruition yet. So that
Right?
makes it more difficult because from I look back and I was watching this stupid show Fire Country. I mean it's kind of stupid for me as a paramedic and a firefighter and a rescuer because of all the shit that they do in there. It's kind of funny, but looking at that, I'm like, man, I miss it. I miss, you know, being the rescuer. I miss doing that stuff. And I I think it's because like I need to let that go. That was my identity for 30 years.
Mm,
Now we're moving forward into doing something that's probably just as important, about the same, just not what I was doing before,
hmm.
if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, and that's when I'm tuning into my own body and things, and I have that grief of missing being that rescuer, taking care of people, that purpose in a job. Um, and I think it's going to change this year. It's going to be something different. And,
Hmm.
with the healing hypnosis, I'm doing that in the astral realms, helping people the same. So I think that's what I'm trying to progress through. And I was shown that to start to let go of that expectation of myself, of actually being out there doing the rescues.
Right.
I
Yeah,
don't know.
exactly. No, I totally agree with everything you just said, especially when with doing these sessions. With the way this last year has gone, for both of us, you and I have talked, there's so much expectations and stuff that we're carrying, and to be in this threshold right now of leaving so much of that behind, and the importance of being present with stepping into this 1 year, right? And this segues perfectly into the rest of my notes that I have here about being present. So this is what I've got written down. It says, when it comes to crossing the threshold into a new year, presence is everything. Presence doesn't require certainty. It doesn't require a plan, right? And just ask yourself, instead of rushing forward, try to pause, to breathe, and to feel your feet on the ground. I think that is like so, so important. Just being present in this, in the threshold and into this next year, and ask yourself, am I here? Right? And then, and ask yourself, say, am I myself as I move forward? Right? That again, being present at the moment we were crossing through this threshold into this number 1 year, and ask yourself these questions and take a breath and allow for those answers to come back to you, because thresholds aren't crossed by pushing, they're crossed with awareness. And the most grounded way to begin a new year is to do it without leaving yourself behind. So what you said and what the Akashic Record said, I think is just perfect.
Yeah. And it's hard for us to do with the programming that we have to hustle, we have to work hard, we gotta do this. So taking that pause is very difficult. It's difficult for me because
Oh, and me as well.
in the back of the mind, I mean, I gotta do something, abundance
Yeah,
isn't coming in, provisions aren't coming in. I have to do something. I gotta do something. So taking that pause and waiting is very difficult. Even when you're taking that pause, I'm thinking in the back of my mind, well, I gotta do this, I gotta do that.
right.
It's
And
so
we have to
it's hard to
sit
do.
sit back and just trust that, God will provide,
Right.
the universe will
So,
provide.
I mean, I guess I kind of had an analogy when you were talking about crossing the threshold. It's kind of the same thing I used to do, like on the SWAT teams or whatever, is before we cross that threshold, we would do a peek just to see what's there before we went into it, before we actually cross the threshold. So we're in that moment where it seems really tense,
Hmm.
really, really tight before you enter in through that door because you don't know what's on the other side. You don't know if someone is on the other side going to take you down or not. So take that pause, do the peek before you cross the threshold,
Before entering. Yeah.
right? And then when you do decide to step forward, smooth as fast. Just trust and just go.
Right. Yeah. Well, and then so you're talking about crossing that threshold and starting and just rush through it and go. So that the next topic that we were going to talk about, the starting without losing yourself. These are some of the notes that I have here. It says if there's one thing that I've learned about starting something new, whether it be a new year, a new chapter, a new direction, is that we don't usually lose ourselves all at once, right? Lose ourselves in small amounts of disconnection. So rush past our own signals when we say yes while our body is saying no, and then when we override what we feel because it seems inconvenient or unclear. So, starting without losing yourself really comes down to staying anchored instead of reactive. So, one way to stay anchored is to build in tiny moments of pause. So, before responding to something, ask, am I responding from urgency or from alignment? And urgency tends to live in the head and the nervous system. And there have been many times it seems that I make fast responses to someone based on their energy and how urgent they come across to me, like, oh my God, this happened. What do I do? Type of thing, right? I mean, how many times has that happened where you feel that energy? And I don't know, I've become like super sensitive to other people's energies. And if they approach me like a rush, like, ah, I just like, have to back off. So alignment, it's a quieter feeling. It lives lower in the body, is what I've took some notes on. And if something requires an immediate yes, it often isn't aligned. So your energy is shaped by where your attention goes. So a simple energy tool is to check in and ask, what is this asking of me? And what is it costing me? Because not everything that's exciting is sustainable, and not everything that is sustainable feels exciting at first. So, anything you want to add to what I've just said?
No, I'll keep going with your notes there.
Okay, yeah. Well, because I was just saying, because how I've become sensitive to other people's energy, and when they feel like they're attacking, I pause and I immediately say, I don't consent to this energy causing me to react. I say
Yeah.
that in my mind immediately, right away, because I've just become so sensitive to other people's negative energy. So if you just, do not allow or consent to those energies, don't let them affect your or change your energy.
Hmm.
And one of the most productive practices this time of year is staying connected to yourself before you connect outward.
Hmm.
And that could be like grounding before meetings, taking a breath before opening your phone. It could be noticing your body before making plans. Again,
Hmm.
it's basically just listen to your gut.
Hmm. More
Um, Go
body-based
ahead.
body-based wisdom, um,
Exactly.
leaning and you know, this might not be the time to push through. It's time to regulate, to realign, and ask what your body's saying right now. I mean,
Yeah, and it doesn't make you less available. It makes you more present in the
yeah.
moment.
Hmm.
And I don't know how you're feeling, but it just seems like as the year was ending, I just felt like there was this release of energy and coming into 111. It was I don't it just so much more positive. I don't know, it was like I just I'm more sensitive, I'm more intuitive.
Hmm.
Just I don't how about you? I can't even explain it. It's just I've noticed a change.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think a lot of our gifts are going to be start opening up in this year, and we are going to find those things that we're more intuitive, we're more sensitive to people's energy around us. I mean,
I'm seeing
so,
more in my mind's eye while I'm at
oh,
work. I'm like,
true.
yeah,
Hmm. Yeah, I think those gifts are going to really be coming forward fast for some people, like at a twirling pace, I'm sure. But we need to lean on that body's wisdom. I do that all the time is I'm using muscle testing a lot to help me to make decisions. I'm tuning in, checking in with the body, um, to see what I need to do today to be aligned. Um, Using the patches that we use, the life wave patches, the magnesium, breath work, grounding. Um, you got to look at for tools that anchor your body when you're feeling really foggy and confused. So grounding and the breath work. I think we talked last show about the box breathing that we do
hmm
uh, um, to help ground the body and regulate and realign again. And for me, the muscle testing, making decisions is really important. I use that quite often.
yeah.
Either the
Even a
lean,
pendulum. I know, yeah, a lot of
oh,
people use a pendulum even. That's another tool you can use.
right.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, it's funny because I made myself or I made my wife for Christmas because it was a we talked about that too. It was a thrifting Christmas where you either made it, bought it secondhand or something. But so
hmm
I actually made her a decision board for Christmas, which is really interesting because
Oh,
you
awesome.
see her use that decision board like we want to make a decision for the day. Magnets in it,
hmm
but it's just based off of our energy. So where that
Yeah,
energy goes is what we need to do for the day. And I really do think our bodies are their consciousness in themselves. And I think it's important for us to talk to our body and find out
exactly.
what it needs
Right.
moving
Yeah.
forward because our body has all the answers. It's more connected in the field than, we've forgotten how connected
Yeah,
we are.
exactly.
So,
And I have some more notes on the this topic of starting without losing yourself about how it's important to normalize that starting something new can stir up fear, but it's not because something is wrong, but because growth requires change, right? So instead of asking, why am I scared? Try asking, what part of me needs reassurance right now?
mm, hmm.
And being self-connected isn't about pushing through fear. It's about bringing yourself with you. I thought, that was a good point to get across. And then also here's something that you can try saying. I am allowed to move forward at the pace that keeps me intact, not rushed, not pressured, not abandoning myself for momentum. And then, so as we start this new year or whatever chapter you're stepping into, remember this, that you don't need to do more to stay connected. You just need to listen sooner, because the moment you notice yourself pulling away, that's not failure, that's awareness. And awareness is what keeps you anchored and grounded to your truth, because you are the most important person in your life. You need to take care of you before you can take care of anybody else. That
Hmm.
goes back to the put your oxygen mask on before you put it on your child,
Right.
right?
Hmm. Right. Because this year isn't about adding anything new. It's about refining. It's about returning. It's about reverberating your core frequency.
Remembering who we are,
And remember who we are. The title of our
right?
show. It's perfect. And
Yes.
you could make your own mantra that you say every day, kind of like mine. What I use is I use wolf runs free. I don't chase. I align. What's mine will meet me.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah. So I mean, you could use that or use a version of that for yourself, but wolf runs free is something that I came up with when I was trying to recover from my knee injury and stuff.
Okay.
And I would say that, but I added that last little part. I don't chase, I align. What's mine will meet me. Onto that.
That's awesome. One of
Wolf
my
runs free.
one of my spirit animals is a wolf.
Yes.
One
Yeah.
of my spirit guides, yeah.
I
The
think
wolf. So I
I
love
think
that.
I think that's why I have so many dogs, or my wife has so many dogs. Is I'm surrounded by wolves.
They're yours as well. They're not just your wives. They live
Uh,
with you. They're your children.
right. So, well, the other thing too, like I want to bring up, we're anchoring that core frequency. I think that we've got away from writing. I think it's important. Let's write down our dreams on paper instead of typing them, instead of trying to remember. Write them down on white paper with a blue pen, because and don't just dream big. Write your dreams, your goals down for this year on white paper in blue ink, because that'll change your frequency. That'll help anchor in those goals, those dreams that you have, and don't dream small. Just make sure you dream big.
And where do you suggest we put these? Do you put them like beside your bed or on the refrigerator? Where would you put yours?
I would put them, you know, writing it down. I think, you're using so many different muscles in your brain and so many different connections by writing. And then when it's that contrast of blue ink on white paper, it stands out even more to you. And
Mm,
I would put them someplace where you see them every day. I mean, you could maybe put them on the mirror of your bathroom.
mm.
The refrigerator would be a good place. Of course, my refrigerator is all full of pictures and stuff my kids drew when they were little, and that I still haven't taken them down. They're dusty and
Don't, you know what you
nasty.
need to do? Get frames for them so that you could put them on your wall.
Oh, there
Frame
we
them
should.
and put them on your wall. I think
I
that's
should.
awesome when
I
people
should.
do that. I've seen that done before.
I should, but the refrigerator's a good place to put things like that. I think it just reminders, little reminders. We go back through
Yeah,
and laugh at those, but those goals
that's
would
where
be a
my
good place.
that's where my dental appointment reminder is.
What is it on the refrigerator?
You know, when you get your every 6 months, I go in and get my teeth cleaned. It's like you get your little card and goes on the refrigerator.
Right. Well, and well, we have a little dry erase board on our refrigerator too that
Mm.
right now it says we are billionaires. I
Oh, that's awesome. I love
don't-
that.
So, but that's a good place. The refrigerator would be a good place to put those goals somewhere where you see them every day.
Yeah,
Shoot, you could even put them on post-it notes throughout the house as well, just writing them out, your goals. And
right.
there's science behind that. Is it just triggering things in your brain and changing your frequency by writing them down, and especially writing them in blue ink
Hmm.
so it stands out to you.
Yeah. And it's the frequency you said, right?
Hmm. It is frequency.
So
Yeah.
do you start your day by saying, having that mantra? Or
Yeah,
when do you do that?
I do it whenever I feel like I need it.
So it could
E-
be multiple times a day then.
Especially in the morning when I get out of the bed, wolf runs free. I don't chase, I align. What's mine will meet me.
Cool.
And
I like that.
so anytime I feel like I'm really scattered or foggy or questioning things, I'll say that mantra.
Mm.
Or
So
I'm
it's
in
kind
pain.
of a clearing.
It is.
It's yeah.
Or in pain. If I'm in pain or something like that, I'll say that to try to clear. It's a clearing it. Clear the pain, clear whatever's dense and I'm holding on to.
Hmm.
And it's a reminder. So,
Yeah. Got to stay connected, got to stay grounded to your truth,
mhm,
stay anchored to Gaia. Yeah. But there's something else. Our third segment, the sacred permission slips. I really like this topic here.
mhm,
What gets to be different, and something that feels really important as we step into the new year is permission. See, and it's not the kind of permission we wait for from other people, but the kind that we give ourselves.
mhm,
I think a lot of us are carrying invisible rules and rules about who we're supposed to be, how much we're supposed to. And the truth is many of those rules were never consciously chosen. I, and something just popped in my mind. People writing New Year's resolutions. This just came to my mind right now. It's not on my notes. And they're probably, what's today? January 5th. So they're probably like all frustrated and mad at themselves because they've already broken their New Year's resolutions, right? Starting at, I know I did. Well, I didn't set a resolution, but I was going to start a detox and I had pizza last night. So much for the detox, but there's
mhm.
always today and start new today. So this is what I've got in my notes. So what if this year doesn't begin with a list of goals or a New Year's resolution, but with a few sacred permission slips and permission to be where you are, permission to change your mind, and permission to stop forcing what no longer fits. And permission is to be honest, even when that honesty is simple and quiet. So anything you want to add to that?
Well, I think it's important. Like you could even give yourself your own permission slip is I'm allowed to not have it all together right now.
Exactly.
Uh, you know,
Exactly.
stop pretending to know, to respond right away, to rest even when the mind says do more. I feel like I do that a lot though.
Yeah. And also this is what I wrote down. It's what am I ready to release?
Hmm.
And not in a dramatic way, but just being truthful. And maybe it's the need to prove yourself. Maybe it's a role that you've been carrying out of
Hmm.
obligation. Maybe it's a belief that that rest has to be earned. You have to work, 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 work before you can rest. And you don't have to release everything all at one time. Sometimes releasing is just loosening that grip on something, right?
Hmm.
And then there's this question of what gets to be different, not what you should change, but what you want to change because it would bring more ease. And what if this year gets to be softer or slower
Hmm.
or more honest? What if success isn't about doing more, but about staying connected while doing less,
Hmm.
right? I also want to say this simple truths are sacred. You don't need a big declaration to mark a new beginning. Sometimes the most powerful truth sounds like, I can't do that anymore. I need more space. I'm allowed to choose differently now. And those aren't failures, they're thresholds.
Hmm.
Right back to what we started, right?
Yep, absolutely.
So
You know,
anything you want to add to
what
that? Go ahead.
your value isn't tied to how quickly you move. It's in how fully you're present when you do move,
Right.
right?
Yeah. And ask yourself, what permission am I ready to give myself this year?
Hmm.
And it could be, something simple, and and let it be kind, because the year doesn't need to be a better version of you. It just needs you to be more fully included.
Hmm.
Don't leave yourself behind
Right.
in the 9 year. Got to bring yourself with you into this number 1 year
Brand new,
through the threshold.
brand new cycle. And we had talked about this before the show. We all know our calendars off, wrong, not following the moon cycles. There
Yeah.
should be 13 months instead of 12, and all this. And I wonder if, we have January 1st as the beginning of our new year, but I wonder if that period between January 1st and April 1st, when the new year per the moon and sun cycles actually is, if that whole time is not the threshold.
Yeah, that's a really good point. And then think about the Chinese New Year as we go from the snake to the fire horse. I mean, when
Hmm.
is that? Is that
Oh, I don't
the
know.
Chinese New Year? Is that February? Is that next month or at the end of this month?
I don't know when it is. Maybe is it is it well, April 1st. I know April 1st is supposed to be the new year start,
I wonder when the Chinese New Year starts.
because that's why it's called April Fool's Day,
Hmm.
because
Right.
everybody was a fool for believing that was the new year.
Yeah. But no, I think you're onto something about where we are right now is actually the threshold
Mhm.
before we go into the new year.
Right.
Yeah.
So
Good point.
it's a good possibility. So I wouldn't. I'm saying that because I'm not going to get down on myself because, okay, you know, January 1st happened. We ate pizza last night, so we didn't do the detox.
Yep.
We got plenty of time yet. The new year
Yes.
isn't actually till the 1st of April.
Yes, we're in the threshold time to get our mind right, get our bodies right,
Right.
right? Mind, body, spirit. We have to all get in alignment with each other.
And it's important for us to let go of that programming. The shit that brought us down, or was so heavy in 2025. We need to leave it back there. We're starting afresh. We're starting new. We're tapping into our core frequency and refining everything.
Yeah,
So,
exactly. Well, I've got a meditation on this subject as well that I'd like to do for all the viewers and listeners.
cool.
The crossing the threshold without losing yourself meditation. And feel free to rewatch this video and listen to this meditation as many times as you want. I think it's really nice to help you get through into this next year as we cross this threshold, as we're standing in this threshold ready to go. So let's take a moment and get comfortable. And if it feels comfortable, gently close your eyes. And if not, just soften your gaze and begin by noticing your breath, not changing it, just noticing it. Notice the rise of your chest, the fall of your belly, the simple rhythm that has been carrying you this whole time. Take a slow breath in through your nose and a long, easy exhale through your mouth. Again, inhale gently and exhale fully. With each exhale, allow your body to arrive a little more fully in this moment. Bring your attention to the place where your body meets the surface beneath you. Feel the support holding you. Let your shoulders soften Let your jaw unclench and let your brow smooth. You don't need to hold yourself together right now. You are already being held. Imagine roots extending from your feet or from the base of your spine, slowly reaching down into the earth. These roots are steady. They move at their own pace. They don't rush. With each exhale, allow anything that feels heavy, unresolved, or tired to gently travel down through these roots, not to be erased, not to be supported, or I'm sorry, but to be supported. Now, in your mind's eye, imagine yourself standing at a threshold, a doorway between what has been and what is becoming. Behind you is the year that has passed. You don't need to revisit it in detail. Just notice that it is there. All the moments that shaped you, all the lessons that stretched you, all the things you carried willingly or unwillingly. Take a breath and silently say, I honor what has been. You don't have to judge it. You don't have to summarize it. Just acknowledge it. Now, gently ask yourself, what am I no longer meant to carry forward? There's no need to force an answer. You may notice a word, a feeling, a pattern, a role, a belief about yourself. Whatever arises, let it be enough. Imagine placing that burden gently, respectfully on the ground behind you. You're not abandoning it. You are completing it. Take a slow breath in, and on the exhale, allow your body to feel a little lighter. Now, bring one hand to your heart. Feel the warmth beneath your palm. Feel your own presence meeting you here. Say silently, I crossed this threshold with myself intact. Do not need to rush to arrive. Say, I do not need to abandon my body to begin. And let these words settle, not for affirmations to strive for, but as truths to rest into. Ahead of you is the year to come. Notice how it approaches you, not demanding, not pulling, not rushing. It simply waits. The year ahead does not need to be perfect. It does not need you to have it all figured out. It only asks that you stay in relationship with yourself as you move. Take a breath and sense what quality wants to guide you this year. Not a goal, not a resolution, a quality. It may be steadiness, softness, clarity, courage, honesty, or rest. Whatever arises, trust it. Let that quality gently settle into your body like a companion walking beside you. When you feel ready, imagine taking one small step forward, not a leap, not a sprint, just one true step. And as you step, silently say, I begin without losing myself. Say, I move at the speed of my truth. Say, I am allowed to go slowly and still arrive. Feel your feet land. Feel the steadiness of your body. Feel your breath. You are here. Take one more deep breath in and a long, slow exhale out. Gently begin to feel the room around you again. Notice the sounds. Notice light. Notice support beneath you. When you're ready, open your eyes. Tony, any final words or thoughts about this threshold energy?
Well, I guess my final thought is, well, not a final thought. Find the practitioners that do the work that you resonate with. Our quantum healing hypnosis sessions help a lot of people. I mean, that is, I feel like our sessions are just a stepping stone to greater things
Exactly.
to help
Yes.
you figure out things that you might not know about yourself. Find yourself again, to remember who you are and get rid of the baggage that you're carrying that's not yours.
Hmm.
So the hypnosis sessions are uh, an important key in that. First stepping stone, I think.
Yeah.
And other practitioners like Reiki and and all that stuff. The patches help trigger your body to restart, to regenerate again,
Hmm.
and help um, doing a cleanse like you were going to do um,
Hmm.
as well. Opens
Yes.
things up,
Yes.
clears
You
the
know,
fog.
exactly. We have this. this talk that we're doing once a month, that remembering who you are, I have to share a story about that. I mean, everything is like coming full circle, and it just popped into my head, how everything is connected. And I love uh, the idea, about having a quantum healing session, an SEHH session, and helping clients to connect with their higher self and remember who they are. I had a dream. I don't know if I told you this. I've told a few people, not very many people. I had a dream. I don't know, part of this cleansing going through the 9 year, I've started remembering my dreams, which I went through many, many, many years where I didn't remember any of my dreams. And so I've started remembering my dreams. And one dream that I had this last year, it's been several months ago, I was touched by God, by source energy. I don't know if I was standing, and all of a sudden he just like touched my finger, and I just felt his energy just come through me and just swirl through me. It was just an incredible feeling that I had. I mean, I can't even explain it. I was just like, yes, 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 because it just felt so beautiful. And I felt that one other time during an SEHH session where Saint Germain came up beside me, and I had never worked with Saint Germain before, but I was receiving the session, and the practitioner, brought in all the angels, and she brought in Saint Germain, and I was like, oh, I've never worked with Saint Germain before. And during this healing that I was having done, and this was before my dream, um, he stepped forward. And so I told her, I said, Saint Germain stepped forward and he wants to provide some healing energy. And she's like, yes, please. That energy that came in was so powerful. It was just like this energy that I felt in this dream. I mean, I had tears coming down. It was just so beautiful. So I had an Akashic Records reading recently from a friend of ours, somebody that we both know, Akashic Beck. And I said, what was the reason why I've had this dream where I was touched by God and I felt source energy just swirling through me? It was to remember who I am. So this whole long story, isn't that like so amazing how
That
everything
is,
just goes full circle?
yeah.
So how these sessions really do, I mean, I'm a witness to that, to help you remember who you are.
Hmm. Remember
I'm
who we are.
a part of the source having a human experience.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes.
So it might feel like a bowstring's drawn in your solar plexus right now, waiting to fire. Just waiting. Just let it unfold as it needs to.
Yes, absolutely.
Remember, do what you can to remember who you are.
Yes. So I have a closing prayer if we want to go ahead and close with a prayer. And
Yeah, absolutely.
okay, alrighty. So may we honor the threshold we are standing in without forcing ourselves across it. May we remember that beginnings do not require urgency, only presence. May we step forward without abandoning ourselves, without shrinking our truth, without leaving our bodies behind in order to keep up with expectations. May we give ourselves sacred permission to do this season differently, to rest where we once rushed, to listen where we once performed, to choose integrity over obligation. May what no longer fits be released with kindness. May what remains be met with care. And as we cross this threshold, whether into a new season, a new rhythm, or simply a new moment, may we carry ourselves with us, whole, grounded, and gently aligned. And so it is. And there
Beautiful.
you go, everyone. Thank you so much for watching our video. And if you liked what we talked about, please hit the like button. And if you feel you know someone who could benefit from this information, please share the video with them. We would appreciate that.
And
And I know if you want to have an SDHH session, I am available, as is Tony.
and remember, all of our links are down in the description to get a hold of us too. So you can find us there, ask us questions, send us messages, book sessions,
Yes.
Just it's
Yes.
all down in our descriptions over a link.
And if you
Doty,
just have any questions, yeah, feel free to reach out to us.
I feel like I want to read this yet too. It just popped in my head here,
Yeah,
and
go ahead.
I was just looking at it, and I think that I want to read it to close this session
Hmm.
or close this episode. As we close this space, we bless every soul listening, not with goals, not with pressure, but with presence. May your year unfold in rhythm with your body, your truth, and your healing. May your path be quiet enough to hear what's calling you next. May you feel no shame for moving slow. May you remember that starting again doesn't require perfection, only permission. You are not behind. You are not broken. You are right on time. We bless the path ahead. We release the need to know everything. And we walk with you in light, courage, and in remembrance. Thank you for being here. And until
That
next
was
time,
beautiful.
we will see you again probably next month. We'll come up with a date, but Doty and I will be back next month with another amazing session. So,
Bye, everybody.
love you all.